Hello, my name is Brian, but you can call me Zyron. This video will entail different tips and tricks to get the upper edge in Battlefield 1943. So there are a lot of different combinations and such that you can use in the game, but I will go around and focus on each thing separately. The first thing that I'll be going over is the three classes and what they are used for, no matter what the original intention of each class was. The Rifleman, the Infantry, and the Scout. To start off, let's talk about the class I play the least, the Rifleman. While they are great for picking off people from semi-long distances and medium range, they are poor when the person is up close and personal. Whether they're hitting you with a pistol or SMG, you tend to panic and they end up getting the better hand in the end. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to get point-blank kills with a Rifleman, but what I'm saying is that the other two classes, the other two have the better countermeasures when it comes to being that close onto the target. The thing you want to do is keep pressure on from a distance while gaining land at the same time, if that makes any sense. Kill people as soon as you see them rather than getting closer for a better shot. If I had to grade the Rifleman on performance, I'd grade it range, I'd give it a B+. It has good range, but it gets harder and harder to pinpoint the further the target is. Damage to vehicles, it gets a D-. Run away from vehicles. It's a must. You will take forever to kill it, honestly. The only thing that you'll get from it is getting shot from behind while trying to take it out with 500 grenades. 500. Damage to infantry, primary. By primary, I mean the primary weapon that you start with. Secondary is when you press R2 and you use your secondary gun. The primary for this is the regular rifle. I will give it a B. It does a good deal of damage. It seems overpowered sometimes, but that's only when they're on low health. And that's the whole thing to deal with the gun. It usually does take the whole entire clip, depending if they are running or not. Damage to infantry secondary, A+. Depending on your aim, it is very effective. You can easily take out a whole flag just by yourself with 3 of those rounds and the rest of your clip. Ability to hide, it gets a B. You can hide if needed and conserve ammo because of the amount of bullets it takes to kill someone, but it's not needed. Your job is to actively force upon the enemy. You are a rifleman and you kill very well. Your grenades are excellent to kill people, and just shooting that one person can get the job done. Overall lethality for this class is a B-. It's a great class, but it does have some drawbacks. The next one up is the infantry. Now, while I say it says anti-tank, this class is not the anti-tank. It can take well over 3 shots to kill a tank. This isn't the best of the 3 classes to choose from, but it helps suppressing fire on enemies that are trying to kill your buddies, as well as it's excellent at close range combat. And it has the ability that I don't think most people know that it has. They can repair vehicles by holding down your melee button next to a damaged vehicle. So if you're going to be driving a tank around, please use this class. If I had to grade the infantry on performance, I'd grade it ranged D+. You can still attempt to pick people off from a distance, and by every means possible, but with the damage the SMG doing, as low as it is, and the change that can be simply behind cover while you're shooting at them, doesn't give me the option to raise it anything higher than what it is. Damage to infantry secondary, A. As long as you hit them, it's fine. The reason why I'm not giving an A+ as I did the rifleman secondary is simply because the arc is much different. It arcs a lot more. It has more kick in the arc. Ability to hide, D-. You fire multiple rounds off and have a rocket launcher, for crying out loud. Hiding isn't the best option for this class. You can sneak around, but you certainly cannot hide in the shadows with this class. Overall lethality. This gets a C. This is the worst of the 3 classes that you can choose from if you're trying to get kills. That is, unless if you're going for the vehicles. You'll be able to repair your vehicles, and overall this helps you take down multiple targets. Let's say there are some other infantry classes running around shooting at you with rocket launchers. You take all 3 of them out. you don't die. You can repair and do it over and over again. This class is best for vehicles rather than running around on the map. Then, finally, we have our Scout, being my favorite class for many reasons, of which you will see the reason of. In my opinion, it is the superior class of the three. There are three different ways you look for your enemies when playing a game. When you're indoors, you are cutting corners and quick glancing at the current environment for things that are out of the ordinary. Well, since that isn't the case in Battlefield games, you can cut that out. Their other two are far distance and close distance viewing. You might not notice it when you're playing, but this is what occurs. When you're running around with an SMG, your mind is basically telling you, don't worry about things that are in the distance. You cannot kill them, so ignore them and focus things that are close to you first. The same goes with the rifleman. Since you are out in the open and have a weakness against enemies that are close to you, you go over the hill worrying if anyone is there to hug your face with bullets. So naturally, you are worried about the first people that are close to you, and then worried about people in the distance. But this is different with the Scout. The Scout has a scope, and has potential to kill anyone anywhere. In turn, you are focused on everyone in the distance first, as well as people who are near you, which improves your survivability, as well as lets you plan tactics a lot sooner. Not only this, but this class is the anti-tank class. Before, I thought I needed to use 2 or 3 charges to blow a tank up. Apparently, only 1 is needed. And while sometimes it does glitch, it is still much more effective than having to use 3 rockets screaming, "I'm right here!" to your enemy. If I had to grade the Scout on performance, I'd grade it range, A+. Furthest range you can get in the game. Damage to vehicles, A+. Strongest anti-vehicle weapon in the game. The only drawback is that you have to place it on the object or have the object go over it. The great thing about that, though, is that you're very sneaky about it. You're not firing a weapon that lets the entire map know exactly where you are. Damage to infantry primary, A. It's the strongest gun in the game and can pick people off from a distance. Always an advantage. Only drawback is that it takes a while to reload the second shot, also known as cocking the gun. Damage to infantry secondary, D+. The pistol is very weak. You must hit someone with every single bullet almost to kill them. Otherwise, you have to wait to reload. It's only effective if you're going to shoot them with a sniper first, and then finish them off with the pistol. But that has its own distance to deal with. Ability to hide, A+. You can sit in a bush the entire game without anyone knowing where you are. That is, unless if you start missing a lot. Overall lethality, I give this class an A+. No other class can beat this at what it does, and that's to kill. The only thing that it has a weakness against is airplanes, but every class has a weakness against the airplanes. This class can take out anything and everything, as long as you play them right. Please watch part 2 to continue on with these tips and tricks.